Hi guys, my name is Leah Grant. Welcome to the Pure Movement YouTube channel. Today we're going to look at some step-by-step instructions on how to build better balance. So let's get started. To start with, when it comes to building better balance, I like working from the ground up. So I'm going to pay attention at first to my feet. I'm going to try to relieve some tension or tightness that I might be experiencing in my feet. So I'm going to start with a soft prop. We're going to look at what's called self-myofascial release, or SMR. That's using soft props to help release the fascial tension in the body. So looking at the feet, I want to think about sort of like a tripod underneath my center of gravity. So what I picture in the tripod, I picture my big toes and the spread through the metatarsals and down through the sides of my feet to the heels, as though it's kind of making a point at the very back. So my big toes, the spread through the toe box, down the sides of the feet to my heels. And I want that to have really good contact with the ground. You're going to pick a soft prop. Today I have a soft blue ball. It's partially squishy, so you can kind of see I can squeeze it in one hand, and that is going to just allow for a gentle release. Other options include something like an infinity roller, where here I've got two balls that are sort of merged together. There's a little valley between the two. There's your infinity roller. Or you could even use a larger firm ball, such as a pinky ball. We've got tons of videos on this. It's pinky balls. You can use them on your hands. You can use them on your feet. You can use them on your body. Tons of options here. Today, I'm just going to use a soft ball. So I personally like to roll out my feet on a hard floor. You could also do this on carpet. You could do this on the mat. I just tend to like a little bit more of a firmer surface. So I'm going to bring the blue ball all the way down to the floor, and I'm going to stand in a relatively comfortable parallel position. And I'm going to go ahead and start to tickle the surface area of my foot, and I'm just going to knead, shifting my weight over onto the ball and then coming off of it. I'm tickling the apex of the arch of my foot, but I'm also moving the ball around, kind of trying to find other areas of tenderness. Noticing if you're tighter towards the side of the foot or a little bit more towards the instep of the foot. Go ahead and switch, noticing how your feet feel similar. Are they tight in the same spots, or are they different? Are they tight in different spots? I'm going to quarter turn just so you can see me a little bit better. I'm now going to bring that ball right behind the spread of my toe box so that I can sort of drip the foot over the ball. And I'm just going to lunge forward, and then I'm going to bring that weight back. And I'm going to lunge forward. I feel like I'm dropping all of my weight forward into that ball. Your range of motion might look different than mine. Don't worry about it. I'm getting a nice stretch through the back of the leg, so just sort of notice what you're feeling. If you'd like to use a chair, you're welcome to grab one. I'm going to go forward and back a little bit. This feels good for me. I'm able to reach to the floor. You may want to bring your hands onto your knee. That's another option. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring my weight all the way up. Let's switch. So now that blue ball is going to come underneath the other foot. Again, I am behind the toe box. So it's kind of right there at the forefoot, but behind the spread of that toe box. And again, I'm going to lunge forward and back. That's the floor creaking. That is not my bones. That's the floorboards. Something. There must be a little air bubble down there. I'm going to go forward again because that feels good. I can keep the hands onto the floor, or I can put them on my knee. I'm just feeling like I'm shifting that weight forward and back. I feel a sensation kind of travel all the way up into my hip. It's the floorboard. It's very squeaky. Bringing yourself all the way back. Woo. Okay, now I want to address the heel just a little bit. So I'm going to give just a gentle push into the ball. And then I want to feel a little bit like I'm smearing the ball. I'm going to pull the ball sort of towards the instep, but then I'm also going to push it back towards the bottom of the heel. And then switch. That's the squeaky ball. That is a squeaky ball. Whew. And then I'm just going to kind of shake my legs out. Whew. Lovely. All right, so we have just released the bottoms of our feet, and now I would like to spend a little bit of work on figuring out where our center of gravity is. So we're going to challenge our body's proprioception, figuring out where our body is in space, by using a soft foam roller. This is an OPTP Pro Soft Foam Roller, so it's very soft, and it's longer, so it's going to take up the whole length of my spine. This one happens to be a 6-inch diameter. We are going to lie lengthwise on it, so that's one reason we want it to be nice and soft. So, coming all the way down onto your back, we're going to take just a moment to sort of acclimate to the feeling that we are lying on our spine. The body sometimes doesn't like this, so we're going to take a minute and just sort of enjoy this dropped sensation in our shoulders, the way gravity is helping us wrap around the foam roller. And I'd like you to gently just start to feel like you're falling to the left. The body almost dips. And then you pick yourself back up and you're just going to dip a little bit to the right. Again, sort of like you're falling left to right. You feel the body dip. So we're going to go through kind of some classic mat exercise principles, the principles of movement, finding that center of our body, challenging our body with the foam roller. You could also always do this without the foam roller if you just want to kind of build that diagonal sling. So I'd like the left foot to stay down, the right foot to lift up, and just notice right away where your center of gravity went. So does the body continue to rock a little bit? Try to hold on to what feels like middle. So I've got now 3 points of contact between my hands, right, left, and my foot. So let's go ahead and start by dipping that right foot away from us. And notice if the body starts to fall right to left, and then picking it back up. So try as best you can to move from this right hip crease rather than your waist sides or low back. I'll show you what I mean. As the leg dips away, you could actually rock the body away from the foam roller, and then you're suddenly sort of opening up the body to the ceiling, and your right hip is still technically closed. So let's reconnect to the foam roller. You're using the foam roller behind you to figure out what's moving and what's not. So we don't want your rib cage or pelvis to move. Just the hip opens. So you actually have I'm pulling back sensation. I'm drawing my weight of my rib cage back even though the leg is very heavy. It's dipping forward and it's trying to tug on my spine. And I don't want it to do that. I'm just going to lower and lift. Let's go ahead and bring that leg all the way down. We're going to place it onto the mat. We're going to find our middle again. And then you're going to float the left leg up. Right and left can feel a little different. So I'm going to try to reach to the arms. I'm going to try to keep the mass of my rib cage back in space as I lower the leg. And your range of motion might look different from mine. That's all right. This diagonal sling, we're kind of looking at the front of the body here from that left hip to the right rib wall. But we're also looking at the back of the body from this right foot all the way to the back of my left shoulder. all the way up. Let's hit that once more. Going back down, careful of the mass of your pelvis and your rib cage, hold still. And then go ahead and bring that foot all the way down. Like I said, if you were having a really bad, if today's balance is just not with us, that's all right. You can always do this on your back on the mat. Let's add on, making it a little bit more challenging if you would like. You're welcome to stick with just your legs. You could also do just the arms, but I'm going to reach my left arm up and my right leg up. So my right hand and my left foot are now the points of contact that I have for balance and stability. Right arm and leg are going to reach away from each other, and then we're going to pull it back together. Once again, double check your work that there is no movement in the waist, sides, or low back. As the legs get the limbs, I should say, get farther away from you, that's going to be more challenging on your core connection. So think about the middle of your body here being unchanged. And draw that back up. I'm going to bring the left hand all the way back down, right foot comes down. Let's try the other side. Sides can look really different. Shoulders, collarbones are wide, left leg floats up, right arm reaches up. Arm and leg go away from each other, and then pick it back up. My left palm is down onto the floor. I'm trying to kind of maintain a really nice core connection through that back of my left rib wall. Right foot, left shoulder, left hip, right rib wall. Reaching that away, and then all the way back up. Allow that to soften. Last but not least, let's add a little work deepening that core connection. So I'm going to bring the left hand behind the head. I'm going to support the head in the hand. Right arm is going to stay reaching. And as I exhale, now I want to lift through the head, neck, and chest, and think as though I'm looking off of that right thigh, right knee, like it's a ski ramp. And then I'm going to bring it back down. As I come up in space, I'm looking off of my right knee and then bring it back down. So this is left rib cage, right hip. I'm crossing my midline. Last one. Drawing that up and laying it back down. Now, let's add on a little bit if you would like. You're welcome to stay with this. Or, once again, try to bring your right leg up to shelf. Watch your balance. Good. As you exhale, I want you to lift through the head, neck, and chest. Now, instead of the arm and the leg going away from each other, I want you to think that the upper body and that right hip are going away from each other. So I'm going to start to lay back. I'm not quite letting go as my right leg dips, and then I'm going to pull back towards that knee. I'm going to open my body, and then I'm going to pull back towards the knee. You might hear my voice tremble, right? Pull back. I'm going to do that twice more. I'm doing about 5 reps on each. You can break up this exercise however you want. These are just some nice steps along the way. Bring it all the way down. Left arm comes down. Right hand comes back. Find your middle. A little harder for me on this side, sorry. Had to grunt. As I exhale, I'm going to lift through the head, neck, and chest. I'm looking towards that left knee. Now, as I lower, I'm going to lower the leg, but be very careful not to move my waist, sides, or low back. So I'm going to keep the middle very quiet. I rise up to meet the middle, and then I hold that connection. Let's do 2 more. This side is much harder for me. That's part of a balance challenge, is you are not asymmetrical. We are not asymmetrical. Last one. It's nothing's wrong. It's just reality. All the way down. Soften and let that breathe. Now if you are on the foam roller, join me. I'm just going to kind of roll off to one side. I'm going to lay down for a moment, and I'm going to feel as though I'm like falling down between 2 sofa cushions. I feel like I'm just like relaxing down into the mat. And I'm just going to feel my body in space. Again, we're trying to build proprioception. So create an awareness of your head. Do you feel your head on the mat? Feel the spread of your rib cage. From about the 2/3 of your rib wall down. You feel the mass of your rib cage, the shoulder blades back onto the mat. You should notice there's a little bit of space in your low back. Feel a sort of a buoyancy or a hollowness. And I'm picturing like Mammoth Cave or something like that. I have this space underneath me. Then I have a lot of mass in my pelvis and the back of the thighs. Like I feel like I'm very dropped in my pelvis. I'm going to use my hands underneath to feel the back of the thighs if they're touching the mat or not. And I'm feeling very close to the mat. I'm feeling very soft in my body. And I like that sensation. Feels really good. I hope you do too. Roll to one side and start to pick yourself up. Okay, now that we have sort of identified where our body lives in space, we're going to come back up to standing and we're going to work on, in an upright position, do we know where our body is in space? So, let's hop up. All right, now that we have addressed how the tripod of the foot feels, let's go ahead and try to build some stability from the ground up. I'm going to quarter turn so that you can see a little bit more of the profile. And I'm going to come to like a mid stance, meaning I'm walking and I'm about to transition from my right foot. I'm through the middle. I'm about to step forward onto the left foot. And I want to work in this parallel position. Feet can be however positioned, parallel or slightly externally rotated that feels most comfortable for you. But I'm going to try to find sort of equal weight on both feet. I'm a little bit wider than hips distance, and I'm going to just bring the hands onto the hips, and I'm going to hold here for a hot second. And I want to feel the tripod of both feet. So I've got the big toes down, I've got the spread through my toe box, and I've got the heels down on both feet. And I'm going to start to push into my right leg to lunge forward over the left tripod. Then I'm going to push into my left heel using the back of my left thigh. I'm going to press myself back straight. Right foot pushes me forward. Left heel pushes me back. Right foot pushes forward. Left heel pushes back. I'm spreading through the toe box, so I feel the whole surface area of both feet down onto the floor. I think I'm going to do this just about 3 more times. Now, you are welcome to grab a chair and rest your hand on a chair if you feel like you need a little more assist. I actually feel a lot happening through the front of my right foot right now. And then a little bit of work up here into that left glute fold. This is my last one. I'm going to push into that left heel. I'm going to bring it all the way back. Now, I am going to bend at the right knee. I can't go very far. That's about it. And then I'm going to push it back straight. So I feel a lot of work right now in my right leg. Down from the tripod of my right foot. So I'm thinking that big toe metatarsal, the spread, or my big toe, the spread through the metatarsal, through the sides of my feet down to the heel. As I'm sending my center of gravity back, I'm thinking that my legs are still relatively parallel. That will be unique to you. Let's do 3 more. You may see a little bit of a shake. My leg is shaking just a little bit. 2. Finishing that last one. Then I'm going to press it forward in space. I'm going to stay here. And I'm now going to lift my right heel up. And it's going to stay in a lifted position. So I got a little bit of a, again, I'm about to take my step forward. We're going to hold here, and it's going to be a flat back, We're going to fold at the hips. As I reach forward, you may or may not be able to get very far, just depends. And then you're going to use that left heel to press you back up. So I want you to hinge at the hips, fold forward, and then use that left heel pushing down into the mat to bring you back up. So as I'm going forward in space, I'm really careful here that I don't actually want to change the position of my spine. I just want to fold at the hips using my legs underneath me for balance. Again, you could put your hand on a chair if you need to. Driving energy down through that left foot. Again, I'm using now the full surface area of the left tripod and that right big toe metatarsal. Going down and up. I'm trying to stay light in the shoulders. I'm trying to feel that I'm easy breezy on top. And I'm folding there at the hips. And then I'm pressing it back open at the hips. You want to be careful that you're not still closed at the hips, but you lift up like this. Right there, my hip flexors. Ooh, I don't even like that feeling. Don't even like that. Okay, dip down. Let's do twice more. Keeping that left leg relatively straight. Last one. Going forward in space, and then taking it. I feel a lot back here in this left seat, all the way up. All right, I'm gonna shake out those feet. I'm gonna stay looking this way just so you can see kind of what the other side looks like, but we're gonna switch. I'm gonna try to place my feet, again, relatively back into that mid stance. I'm working towards my parallel, neutral pelvis, shoulders are soft. You can bring the hands onto the hips if that helps, as you feel like you are mid-weight between both feet. Spread through the tripod of both feet. You're going to reach that right knee forward. This left heel I'm going to try to keep down because he's kind of pushing me forward. Then I'm going to push down into that right heel as I come back. We're going to go forward in space, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to go forward and back. Everything else is really pretty quiet. So it's a small movement. You don't have to make it super big. It's not even like a big lunge. It's more to do with how you feel your center of gravity shift forward and back, and how the footbed carries the weight of your whole body. How does the tripod of your foot connect to the floor? Let's do 3 more. Forward, I feel the inside of this leg behind me. Last 3. Little lift of your heart. Pushing through that right leg, right heel plate, 2. Pressing that all the way back up. Last 1. Good, now from here I'm going to bend the left knee. Feel like now I'm coming backwards, and then push it back straight. I'm going to bend the left knee. This leg does not like this. I get a real big tremble. I get a lot of heat building in my left ankle and my foot. Notice if your pelvis is trying to change orientation. Keep it pretty level. Nothing really happening here through the waist sides or the low back. As I shift my center of gravity back in space, I feel a lot of it sink down into that left tripod. Let's do 3 more, pulling that pelvis back in space, pressing it forward. Ooh. Last 2, I'm getting a lot through the inside of this left thigh, pressing that back forward. Finishing that last 1, bringing my center of gravity back, and then serving it back forward. Again, like I'm taking a step, I'm going to lift that left heel like I'm walking. Right, now I'm going to stay here. Hands soft beside you, fold at your hips. Keeping that left knee bent, right leg straight as you go down. And then open the eyes of your hip creases. Bring it back up. Come down. Open the eyes of your hip creases. Pick it back up. Shoulders are on our back. Come down. Spread through that right foot, right tripod. Back up. Reaching, I'm folding at the hips. Come back up. Let's do 3 more. I'm trying to keep kind of equal weight through both feet, even though I don't have the left heel. So I feel back here going to work. Last 2. Trying to keep my collarbones wide. Feel a strong straight spine that's just hinging forward. Careful I don't flex forward. Light of my breastbone is lifted. 2. Feel a lot in that right glute. All the way up. Oh, maybe I've been cheating myself. I don't know if I've come all the way up each time. Last one. I can only fix one thing at one time here, guys, right? Just working on one thing. All the way up. And peel that foot off. Lovely. Good. My ankles are burning. I feel my lower legs. All right. We're going to take it into a lateral hip exercise now, and we're going to grab a TheraBand. Okay, so I have a TheraBand. It's about 6 feet long, thereabout, I suppose. And you don't need it a certain weight. Really, it's just for some feedback, proprioception, right? So we're telling our mind where our body is in space. And we can use those props to figure out where the surface of our foot is, where our central column of our center of gravity is, and now we're going to think a little bit about where the feet are in relation to the hips in a standing position. So I'd like for you to bring the TheraBand underneath you, and I want you to pull against the TheraBand so that the bottom between the TheraBand between the feet is a little bit taut. And then I'm just going to kind of collect the TheraBand in my hands, and I'm going to pull the extra, making a fist and holding on to that. And then we're going to just basically kind of hold those arms. So, like I said, if you want more resistance, you just choke up and you grab more of the TheraBand. If you want less, you go to the ends of your TheraBand. So, shoulders are on your back. Pelvis is nice, firmly neutral, trying to hold that center of gravity in the middle. And there is a slight weight shift when we walk right to left. We just want to be really careful that it doesn't look so exaggerated that we lose our balance. So I want you to gently shift the weight over to the tripod of your left foot. Keep everything lifting up and start to de-weight your right foot going into that TheraBand ever so slightly. See, it's very small. My foot is just barely moving. It's just coming off the mat. Woo. Back through center. I'm going to side to the right just a little bit. Ooh, I feel that right glute light up again. And then we push into that TheraBand ever so slightly. And back down. Just a little bit right to left. I'm going to try really hard not to lean too far, pulling up through that left hip, even though I'm bringing my right foot up. Back through center. Let's do that once more. To the right. So you want to be careful that your right hip doesn't jut, and that's what picks up the leg. You keep pulling up through the waist, through the hip, through the leg, and that's what lifts and de-weights the left foot. Back down. From here, we're going to add on. Shoulders are on your back. Lift the light of your chest. Go to that left lane. Pull up through the waist sides and abdominals, and then pull that right foot up. And I want you to pulse into the TheraBand, little pulses. Let's do 8, 7, doesn't have to go very far, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back down. You will feel both hips, right? Because one is stabilizing and the other is moving. So I'm going to go to the right. I'm going to pull up really tall through my body so that I don't pop the hips out. And then I'm going to go into that resistance band. Long leg. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Lovely. Nice. Let's add on just a little bit. I want you to give me a little bend to both knees, and now pull the TheraBand so that you're sort of holding it at the eyes of the hip creases. This will also help you make sure that your pelvis stays relatively level. We're going to go a little crab walk here. So you're going to go to the right, and then you're going to close it. You're going to go to the right and close it. So it's a subtle weight shift because I got to get out of that foot so I can pick it up, and you're going to go back and forth. Now, I want you to think that the collarbones ever so slightly are externally rotating. What does that mean? What might that feel like? I feel like I'm spiraling my collarbones to look at you guys. Like I feel like I'm turning the collarbones so that they're spiraling instead of this way, open to you. Open the collarbones wide. So that there's no work here in your shoulders hiking up to the ears, but you feel that work through the hips, right? The pull against that TheraBand is coming more so from your back rather than from the shoulders. I feel the heat in my hips, keeping that pelvis relatively level, taking baby steps here, step by step, right? Step by step. This is my last time to the left. Do as many reps as you would like. Honestly, I like to go till I feel that burn. I'm using that muscle tissue. I'm building that strength. And I'm connecting to the muscle groups in the method that I want. And stretch. Slowly stack your spine back up. Pull against the TheraBand. Bend at your knees, pull the hands towards your hips, collarbones, think about, don't let it go in, right, but you're going to externally rotate the collarbones. Now, it's more so from sort of the space between your shoulder blades. I want you to pull and soften, pull and soften, pull. Again, I'm really just going to focus that my collarbones are wide. I'm going to feel for the spread of the bottoms of my feet. I want to get my weight back into my heels just a little bit, but the big toes are still down. I'm going to widen my collarbones. I'm thinking of the space between the shoulder blades. The space between the shoulder blades for 5. Last 4. Give me 3. Notice my shoulders aren't going up and down, right? I feel like I'm keeping my collarbones wide too, and I'm pulling from the center of my back. Last 1. Reach it forward. Stretch it out. Go ahead and remove the TheraBand from underneath your feet. Slowly bring your spine back to tall standing. Thank you so much for joining us. If you liked today's step-by-step instruction, please leave your favorite exercise in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube, where we have tons of tutorials and workout flows for you to try at home or anywhere, honestly, wherever you're at. Thank you so much.